these days, much of the music we hear results from the theory that anyone can grab a mic and have a hit if they look good. Real talent seems to have taken a back seat as the cash tills ring to the sounds of Silent Night. But thankfully, there's still room for artists with the ability of Jeff Healey here, 22-year-old blind Canadian guitar virtuoso whose debut album and recent shows in London have brought him widespread critical acclaim. Welcome, Jeff, breaking the mould all over the place there.
Hello.
Good to have you. And we've also got Tom Stephen, the man on the skins and on the mouth. The other guy in the band, Joe Rotman, I'm afraid he's been a bit too tired out because you guys have been going for it, haven't you?
Yes.
He's actually sleeping, so we'd like to say good evening to Joe Rotman.
Good evening.
And sorry he couldn't be with us. Now, Jeff, you're 22 years old, caused a bit of a stir this year in England and elsewhere.
It couldn't have been the show that I came on stage without my trousers, could it? It might have been.
It might have been.
You never know.
It's quite young to be as talented as you are at guitar, isn't it?
I don't know.
Says he modestly.
I believe by the time, say, somebody like Eric Clapton was 22, he'd already played with the Yardbirds and John Mayall and had started up Cream and made quite a name for himself, so well, I don't know.
Bang goes that introduction then.
There you go. Sorry about that.
No.
Hello to Eric, if
I'm sure modesty's got a lot to do with your success as of now. But you were 3 years old when you had a guitar thrust into your hands.
Thrust into my hand. Play this thing! No.
Did you have a domineering father?
No. Although he is 6'5". I just always been interested in music, and one of those people, or infants apparently, who before they could walk sort of grabbed hold of the edge of the playpen and swayed back and forth to music.
Knocked it over.
Yeah, knocked it over, that too. So they knew that I was either going to be a musician or a wrestler, I suppose. So I had several relatives that had musical instruments around the house, other places when I went to visit, little guitars and pianos and harmonicas and things. And I guess guitar was just an inexpensive thing to buy at that point, or what we could afford. So we got a little guitar.
You spent many days playing the guitar. Did you listen? When you learned? Did you play by sort of reproducing other people's sounds, or did you just invent?
Yes, other things. Not only guitar, but just music in general that I liked, which covers a wide variety of musical styles that I listen to.
You must have been a bit young to be into Hendrix, sort of like aged 4 when he died, weren't you?
Yes.
But you got into him.
In my mid-teens, I guess, a little bit. Not that I've just always been into music, as I said, without really getting into one sort of specific artist. You've
got a very particular style of playing that a lot of people won't have seen, even if they were at the gigs, because, you have to be right at the front of the stage to see it. But you've got the guitar laid flat across your lap. Can you tell us about the way you play?
Well, you started it. I've got the guitar laid flat across my lap with these 5 fingers moving across the fretboard and this hand doing the picking, basically. Well,
let's have a quick demo of what you can do then, Jeff.
Well,
and then we'll have a look at the more conventional way of doing it.
The more conventional way?
The way I used to try when I was in school.
Well, I can only play a few chords that way anyway, so you probably blow me away that way. What do we have? Nice one, Jeff. Nice one, Jeff. Now, among the many compliments that have been cast your way is that you're a man with a wide spread.
And what exactly does that refer to?
I've resolved to lose a little weight.
Now, let's have a look. Because you've got your thumb to forefinger. Let's stretch your hand out.
To forefinger?
Hold it out vertically like that, compared to mine. Mine's pathetic.
What,
like
yours?
That. This man's got big hands.
Yes.
But why didn't you play the conventional way?
Because I started off when I first received a guitar, and the only logical way that I could think to get any sound out of it or music out of it was to tune it to a chord, and alter the chord with a slide or with one finger or whatever, like this, flat on my lap. And eventually I learned standard tuning and just began to work out chords that way, with it still flat on my lap with the fingers. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's how that started.
You've got a great advantage on people who play conventionally, though, because you can use your thumb as well, right?
Yes, although I won't say that conventional players never use their thumb. Some apparently turn it up this way and will use their thumb over top like this.
Right, you can only get the top two strings, I suppose,
but you know, but this way you have all five fingers moving, I guess.
Now, music's obviously your greatest love. I hear you've got over 10,000 78s in your collection.
That's right.
But who would you say are your influences? Because that sounds pretty rocky. People would say like Clapton and Jimi Hendrix. Who are your greatest influences musically?
I couldn't name them.
You couldn't?
No, not. There's just too many. Music is my influence, basically, and good musicians who I feel are playing with some sort of heart and imagination have been, a good influence, from jazz to blues players to rock and rollers to, anything covering those lines, I guess.
Well, Tom here. Tom.
This is
Tom, by the way, everybody. Tom used to be an urban planner. You gave up a promising future as an urban planner to play with Jeff Healey. Now, why?
I'm not sure.
Have you figured it out yet?
Basically, I guess because when I first met Jeff, he was a very interesting player. We met at a place called Grossman's Tavern in Toronto, which is kind of a place where novice and musicians alike hang out and jam every Sunday night. And I had the opportunity to play with Jeff a few times, and we hit it off, had a great time, it felt wonderful, and here I am.
How long's Jeff Healey Band been together then?
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. 3 years, December 8th.
Yes.
Jeff, to refer to your style, though, you obviously done quite a few amazing cover versions. People were all screaming about your cover of Jimi Hendrix, for instance. But, have you got a lot of material under your belt? I mean, what's the danger of you becoming just a technical genius and not a creator? Long question there, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. Basically, our aim is to. I'm not into to sort of move and shake the whole music industry or anything like that. I'm into to have quite a lot of fun. I write tunes that, or what I let go to the public, tunes that I actually believe in as good tunes. And, I like to sort of keep a majority of tunes, I guess, as my own, but I'm not adverse to hearing new tunes by other people if they're great tunes, if they're up, if they're our style of something that we could do, without really sounding stupid. So, that's about as far as it goes. I mean, we just have a lot of fun playing together.
And so, to what extent is it a band participation? I mean, what's your role in the band, other than actually drummer, of course? And I noticed you went straight for the telephone when you came to the building this evening, so you sort of like managing as well?
Well, basically, the band matches, we match ourselves. I tend to be the spokesman with regard to the record company and the movie companies. But as a unit, we have our own company called Forte Records, and we've endeavored from the beginning to manage our own affairs, and to date have been relatively successful.
And just one last question, Jeff. Are you looking towards sort of like playing big stadiums? Do you want to play in front of huge audiences, or do you prefer the intimacy of somewhere like a small club?
Well, you can't keep yourself really in a small club forever. I mean, you have to show growth. Obviously, the audience has to grow with you, or the number of people getting into your music. And if you play it in a small club, you could probably play 7 or 8 shows in a week in the same place and just have different audiences, which would not do you any good. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with a large stadium type of thing.
Yeah, well,
I think we could
Well, the bigger the stadium, the more people can get to go and see the Jeff Healey Band. Thanks very much for coming in. Pardon me?
And have a good time.
And have a good time, of course, because that's and buy the record.
Buy
Well,
the record.
I'm sure he's the manager. He says he's not. I'm sure.
Yes, do we have a record to hold up here? Just
we don't actually have an album, but we're going to have a video in a minute now. If you did, thanks both of you for coming in, by the way, and look forward to seeing you in a bigger venue.
A bigger venue.
A bigger venue, well, bigger than Night Night at Studio 5. Of course, it's been very exciting tonight. If you missed his only 2 London shows, then get out and buy the Jeff Healey Band album. See, I plugged it for you there. It's currently available at most good record stores. In the meantime, let's have a look at the single, which will be available in January. It's called Confidence Man.